Hi everyone, Hector Amendola here with Altera Home Loans. Today we're going to talk about the 6 money-making activities that you should be focused on if you're in sales. I'm particularly focusing, of course, on loan officers and on realtors and what you should be focused on every day. Before we get started, I want to make sure I give a shout out to Rene Rodriguez. He does all of our sales training here at Altera Home Loans, and he's really been driving the point home about the 6 money-making activities. We also have him touring the country right now. So if you haven't seen him speak before, he's a phenomenal speaker. Make sure to reach out to me so I can get you invited to the next event. The reason the 6 money-making activities are so important is because, to me, I've been in the industry for 16 years now, and there's a lot of fads that come and go. There's a lot of noise all the time. People in your ear, you should do this, you should do that, and it at some point you just kind of get overwhelmed with there's so much that you can be doing, and people are doing so many activities. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, was I productive today? And that's where these 6 money-making activities really hit home with me, because it helps me focus on what I'm doing right now. Is it one of the 6 money-making activities, and am I going to get something out of it at the end of the day? And we're going to go through what each activity is and what you should be getting out of each activity when you're doing it. The first money-making activity is prospecting. So prospecting, of course, everybody knows it's something that if you're in sales, you have to do it. There's no way around it. You have to figure out a way to prospect, and you have to find whatever you feel comfortable doing when you're prospecting. And how do you measure how well you're prospecting? It's by how many leads you're getting. That's your commitment objective. You have to make sure you're keeping track of how many leads you're getting per activity. We have a system that we follow here at Altera Home Loans that tracks the different activities you do and what leads you're generating from these activities. It's a phenomenal system. It's great. It really helps everybody focus on. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you turn around, you look and you say, I've been doing this activity. It's great. I'm working really hard. And then you turn around and look and you see that it's not really producing any results. You're not getting any leads out of it. So at that point, you kind of have to decide, is this really as important as I thought it was? Am I really producing anything out of it? So you have to make sure you're keeping track of your leads. How many leads are you getting from each prospecting activity? And we can help with that. The second one is to set appointments. Setting appointments sounds simple, but you need 3 things when you're setting an appointment. You need a date, you need a place, and you need a time. So that's crucial. A lot of times we say, well, I'll see you next week. We think we made an appointment. Next week comes around, you're playing it by ear. I hate those words, playing it by ear. You're playing it by ear, you're waiting for that day to come, and when it comes, that person doesn't even remember you guys set an appointment, because you guys were never specific about what time or what place or any of that. Or you don't even follow up because you get busy doing something else. On the contrary, if you actually make a date, place, and time, then you're not going to miss that appointment. You're going to go ahead and follow through with that, or reschedule it if something does come up. But it's an appointment that's actually been set. So the third money-making activity, you have to present value. So this is something that we've been focused on here at Altera Home Loans now. We're really focused on making sure that we're presenting value to our clients, and by clients, I'm talking about our realtors as well as our buyers. It's really important that you present value, and by presenting value, your commitment objective is to differentiate yourself, to create trust. You're really trying to make sure that you stand out from the rest of it. We're right here, we're in Downey, California. There's a ton of mortgage lenders here. There's a ton of realtors here. And so what makes you different? You have to be able to present that value. You have to be very clear with this value that you're presenting. So the fourth activity is to gain commitment. If you've done the first 3 activities, you've done a good job with the first 3 activities, then gaining commitment is pretty simple. It's just as simple as asking a question. Based on everything I've shown you so far, are you ready to do business with me and my team? And if you've done a good job of presenting value, of differentiating yourself, of making sure that you stand apart from the rest of the people in your field, then you should be able to get that commitment. And the commitment objective for this one is to get a signature, get some sort of skin in the game, get something that says, okay, that person is committed to me now. The 5th money-making activity is follow-up and aftercare. For us in the loan business, this is probably the most important one. People say prospecting. I know prospecting is very important, but follow-up and aftercare is you actually following through on everything you've said you're going to do. Something that's happened in this business over the years is people have stopped believing when somebody says, I have great service. Why? Because every person in the business says how great their service is, and most of them don't follow through with great service. So follow-up and aftercare is making sure that whatever you said you were going to do, you're actually following through and doing. And sometimes that means you have to stop prospecting so hard and actually focus on making sure that the service that you promised is being delivered. That's how you keep clients. That's how you keep clients coming back. And again, by clients, I mean realtors as well as the buyers. That's how you keep them coming back for more, because they know what to expect when they go into business with you. There's a second part to follow-up and aftercare, and that's what happens after you close the transaction. You have to make sure that you're keeping in touch with your client by sending postcards, quarterly phone calls, client appreciation events. You have to make sure you're doing something to keep in touch with that client even after it's closed. It's something that a lot of salespeople just don't do a good job of. You have to make sure you're doing a good job of doing an aftercare. After you've closed, are you taking care of your clients? Are you still there? Are you still answering their questions? Are you still available for them if they need anything? And if for whatever reason you didn't give them a good experience, are you doing anything to rectify that even after you've closed? It's a very important step. And the commitment objective here is to create some sort of a wow experience. You want people walking away thinking, wow, that was great service. If I ever do this again, I want to make sure I come back to the same person because they delivered such amazing service. So that's very important. And the sixth money-making activity is to ask for a referral. Asking for a referral is something that all of us are told from day one we should be doing, and many of us just don't get around to doing it. It's very important. It's part of your money-making activities. You can't forget that one. Once you ask for a referral, if you've given great service, if you created that wow factor, you should have no problem getting referrals from these people. And then it should go right back to number 2 when you're setting appointments with these referrals. So those are your 6 money-making activities. Again, if you're doing anything that falls outside of these activities, then you're probably not focused on making money. So focus on the 6 money-making activities. Whatever you're doing, you should fall somewhere between these 6 activities, and you'll get good results.